What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it is rare that karma comes back for some of the most deserving. And today we are here to celebrate karma getting something right. Now, if you're aware, if you remember Guild Wars 2, if you play Guild Wars 2, you might remember a particular dev who was and has said some heinous things online, just to bring you up to speed. And some of the things said by Jennifer Sherrill. In June, Sherrill, if you remember, earlier this year, she falsely accused Guild Wars 2 game designer Jennifer Sherrill ignores evidence, falsely accuses innocent man of white supremacy and vehicular bad behavior. You could see, I came here because I wanted to report to you about the terrible event and BLM protesters in Seattle last night. Except it wasn't a white supremacist Trump supporter. It was a black man. This is a woman that, if you remember, Guild Wars 2 game designer ignores evidence, falsely accuses white man, or man of white supremacy. She also accused this man of and apologetically shared his real name and declared that he is dangerous. This is back when, I don't know if you know, but this is when somebody got on the freeway driving the wrong way or something like that. And this is when cities were still allowing, the summer of love to people just walk down dark expressways and then be shocked and appalled when, somebody gets hit. Here's another event, Guild Wars 2 lead designer. She ended up getting fired, saying, well, I lost my job at ArenaNet today. It's been nothing but bad luck for this individual. Shirley broke the news of her departure October 14th, informing her followers on Twitter that she had lost her job at ArenaNet as of today as part of a reshuffling of projects. Was now looking for a job as a game designer pretty much immediately. Excuse me. Being laid off on the spot is an extremely traumatizing experience. I was locked out of my work computer within 10 minutes, and I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to my colleagues. Also, this is the only access I currently have to a computer. Interesting. You don't own a laptop or a computer and you're a game developer? That seems odd. Aside from her game design work, Shirley is perhaps best known for her campaign against the honoring of Atari co-founder Nolan Bushnell by the Game Developers Conference, wherein she claims that various women had come to her with stories claiming Bushnell fostered a misogynistic workplace in the 70s. However, when pressed for the names of those that said he did these things, she refused to provide them, saying, "You don't understand. I don't have to prove anything to you, and neither do they. It is your job to practice empathy. So it is to listen and believe. Ruin this man's career, or else." In June, she garnered widespread criticism, stating that her worst nightmare was for men falsely accused of misconduct to have all of the receipts ready to discredit their accusers. I need to leave. I need to go outside and breathe. I can't see this. Men having all the receipts ready to discredit the people they hurt. All your alarm bells should go off. This is my worst nightmare. This is why I will never say what happened to me. Now, maybe something bad did happen to her. But the idea that is a bad thing that men are able to protect themselves against false accusations, that's extremely troubling for me. She concluded her thoughts on her departure by thanking all the absolutely wonderful people that worked out and worked for her. Well, she's back in the news. Back in the news. And thanks to Colin Moriarty, just summarizing it here, just catching up on the Jennifer Shirley drama. A few audience members wrote in asking us why no one is talking about it. And they're right. I have never heard a word. Strange how games media rarely writes about their friends when they're accused of impropriety. What would this be? Well, it is someone who has constantly been pointing the finger at other people, decided to self-cancel. I'm sorry it took so long. I wanted to make adequate time to consider everyone affected. I'm sorry for the harm that I've caused Noni and others, both past and present. As a teacher, I have let down her, and as an advocate, I have let down an industry I deeply love. As part of what I believe in, I will act in accordance with the wishes of the people I have harmed. I am grateful to the IGDA and their ethics committee. I believe in their process, regardless of their decision to dismiss the claims against me. I will step down as the IGDA WIG SIG chair immediately. Well, what is the IGDA? Well, it's the International Game Developers Association. It has come to our attention that there's been public concern about IGDA's internal investigation process. You may find our statement below. Well, what had happened was there was significant bad information brought forth about this woman, and they did a self-investigation and found that there was nothing wrong. The ethics committee unanimously decided that there was no wrongdoing. Alana Pearson here. Odd spot for her. This is one of the people who tried to destroy Nolan Bushnell because he shared a hot tub and smoked some herb with people at Atari in the 70s. It always seemed to be projection with these people. Seems you definitely heard plenty about Troy Levitt. He was too open-minded. Scott Cawthorn, he was too Christian. Peter Tamte, he wanted to make a game about actual historical event though, right? Just keep your eyes open. Open is all. If you look at the IGDA website or Twitter, they've essentially been pretty quiet about when one of their own. Now, where did this all start? I'm sorry I'm jumping around a little bit. Essentially, woman tries to destroy man, destroys life instead. Here's Noni on June 21st. It's all stemming from this. Finally, a decision made. A well-respected woman in games development manipulated and essentially groomed me. Publicly, she would say all the right woke things and appeared to be an ally, but in reality, she used so many of the abuse tactics she's preached against. She tried to isolate me from friends, all while telling me how much we were alike. She victimized herself constantly to be above criticism. If she needed something, she was my best friend. If I asked for something, I'd get cold or even silent treatment. She claimed she wanted to lift up other women, but really she was happy with their successes as long as they didn't climb above her. She spread rumors about other women she saw as rivals. She preyed on junior women because they were easier to manipulate and mold. I remember once asking her if she'd help me with a nomination I'd made for another junior woman in games by writing a testimony since they were friends. She refused, and her response felt cold. I remember thinking I must have done something. Now I think she was jealous. When I finally cut her off, she played the victim and appealed to some of my friends, damaging those relationships with lies. It significantly impacted my mental health wherever I was terrified of the power she could wield over me. There's many more stories. I'm not ready to share them yet. I know she's hurt other people too. I wish I was brave enough to name her, but I'm not. Please don't DM me asking me either. Well, what did Noni finally come out and do? She finally did name her. Here's another one. Jennifer Shirley gaslit me in the first conversation we ever had. I did all the things you're supposed to do. I called out abuse. I reported it. I tried to protect my team, and I was fired for it. She finally came out and named her, and it was hilariously the same woman that tried to ruin another, has been trying to ruin people's lives for a very long time. Isn't it funny how this always seems to work out this way? Here on September 15th, she finally named her. The woman I'm talking about here is Jennifer Shirley. Surely. Tagged in her boss, tagged in her other stuff. I love it. You just hate to see it. You just hate to see it. Isn't it funny how it's always projection with these people, and not a single article on Kotaku or Polygon or anywhere calling out this woman who tried to ruin a man's life, and turns out she was in fact the one that was hiding everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little bit of a W you enjoyed the W at the end of the day here, make sure you smash that like button and you subscribe using the red subscribe button down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.